On Alec Pollard, who's sitting by there in Sderot this morning. Alec, so some damage to some homes there. What took place?
Well, Dave, it's certainly an escalation that we're seeing over here. Yes, we had arson balloon attacks for the last few weeks and IDF strikes inside the Strip. But today, 2 rockets intercepted in the skies above Sderot by the Iron Dome defense system. But one rocket got through and landed here in the shed just outside this house. And the shrapnel flying into the house to the right. And one man was injured in that house lightly. He's currently in hospital, but not in serious condition. And just take a look at some of the damage over here. This is the shed that the rocket landed on. Very luckily, it did not land directly on the house, but only on this shed, and the shrapnel flying directly into the room over there of the house right next door, and that caused one man to be injured. Nobody in this house was seriously injured, very luckily, but you can just see the amount of damage that was done here, and also the blast caused some of the windows to break in the house nearby. Also over here, these are some of the pet parrots. Some of them were actually killed by the shrapnel of the blast. And just a lot of damage over here, and the people who live here telling me that it was certainly a very scary experience, that they just heard the explosion of the rocket. They were in the house nearby, and there's been sappers here to take apart the rocket that fell, and people who have been cleaning up much of the damage. It was actually looked much worse earlier in the day. Now it's a relatively okay, but still a lot of damage, and very scary experience for the people who live in the house right behind me, that the rocket just landing in the shed just a few meters from where they live.
Yeah, a great view here for our viewers here from abroad and elsewhere of how a quiet neighborhood can turn into the front line of a war zone in a snap like that. The direct hit, that's obviously eye-opening to see that. What's the nature of this flare-up, though, Alec? What's triggering this from Hamas at this point?
Well, David, Hamas are talking about, first of all, opening up the Gaza border so more people can come in to work inside Israel. Also, the Qatari money that they want to come in for aid. But it's really something that has been escalating for a few weeks, not related to the Emirati, the deal that is currently being signed with the United Arab Emirates. It's quite separate from those developments. And it's really after COVID-19, a lot of this was on a low burner for both sides, but now it seems to be coming back. We saw 50 fires that broke out over the weekend along the Israel-Gaza border. There was also protesters there who were on the border and threw explosives at IDF forces, who fired back and injured 3 Palestinians. So we're seeing things that we haven't been seeing for several months, and one can only hope that this escalation does not continue.
Alec Pollard, thanks for coming to us from Sderot here. Obviously, an important site here to take a look at here the night after rocket attacks. We'll be right back now after a short